We have had massive news this week. Bitcoin smashed through, made a new all-time high. Solana is making headlines everywhere, like institutions now hold 1% of all SOL. One of Asia's largest brokers just opened Solana trading, and so much more. We've got news on Bonk, uses, and OKB. It pumped 100%, a little bit of a lesson in there. A lot to get through, so subscribe, let's get going. We'll start off with the US PPI. PPI is Producers Price Index. Essentially, tariffs going up meant that this rose higher than expected. Producers, they get the raw materials, they make a product, they sell it to consumers. If PPI goes up, they will sell it for a higher price, which means inflation happens. This is generally bad. Grok said so, but just common sense says so, and the liquidations in the market yesterday said so as well. However, Bitcoin's actually doing okay because we can see that it came on down and it dropped around 5.86%. But it didn't break this trend line of all the lows, and the multi-year line, which is the trend line for Bitcoin, the red one, it didn't break this either. Now, unfortunately, CoinGlass has updated everything, but this was sitting at $900 million worth of people being wrecked, with the vast majority, like 800 million, being longs. And then this 24-hour volume yesterday was over 500 billion. However, it's dipped down now. But this is mostly good because in order to get to these fun levels where we have our altcoins doing well, we need the daily exchange volume to lift up. And back in December and January, this is what it was. And then it came on down. Now we have a low, a higher low. We've got a high, and we're coming up. And hopefully we're going to have a higher high very, very soon. Our fear and greed has reset a little bit, which is very, very good to see. You can see we're now sitting at 60. So we're still in this greedy period, but we're not in this higher level, and we didn't get down to low fear either. Now, the bearish aspect of PPI going up hasn't affected the fact that we are still thinking we're going to get a rate cut. Our current target rate is 425 to 450. And for about a month away, we have a very low expectation that we're going to stay there. The majority of the market is thinking we move down just a little bit. Basically, Trump's pushing Jerome Powell to make this happen, etc., etc. But we can see that this is the first step, and then there's sentiment moving us further down throughout the next few months and then next year. And as soon as that happens, more risk-on money leaves treasury bonds and they go into things like stocks and crypto markets. As for Bitcoin with the US government, they are using the treasury to try and work out how they can do budget-neutral accumulation of more Bitcoin. And Bitcoin and crypto is moving up in terms of search engine results with Google. And I imagine the same thing's happening with ChatGPT. Bitcoin ETFs are sizable. Since the 6th of August, you can see it's just been positive, positive, positive. We're looking at yesterday being $230 million. But the ETF that's taking the most amount of attention right now is the Ethereum ETF. You can see it had over $1 billion on the 11th, and yesterday, $639 million. Having a look at Ethereum, let's work out how will tokens actually move, because Ethereum is what people are talking about. Whales put their money into here. It went down to like $1,400 or thereabouts. Then it's gone up to $4,700 or thereabouts. So the returns are significant, and did all this in just a few months. And this is what happened when we looked at the ratio between Ethereum divided by Bitcoin. Had strength, 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 bottomed out, and then Ethereum has more strength. And you can see how it plays with the fib levels very, very nicely. The next fib, this one here, is 0.5. Once we come through here, things will start to get far more euphoric. But this is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. And then down here, we've got the total 3. So this is the total crypto market cap. Take away Bitcoin, take away stablecoins, and take away Ethereum. So what we can see here is as it's gone up, even though Ethereum has gone up in price, like here, when we correspond to the market cap of other altcoins, they shoot up as beta plays to Ethereum. So come Monday, we'll look into some tokens that could outperform as Ethereum rallies higher, and make sure you tune in to that one. But the point here is, as Ethereum's going up and Bitcoin's going to all-time highs as well, it's not just money going into them. Money will rotate into other stronger altcoin plays. Also, we're doing well when it comes to market cap USDT dominance. We want this to break down to this level, and we can see that we are breaking down, in fact. So probably not too far to go until we get down here and then hopefully trend here. Of course, it's going to go like this, but the market does want things to go up. And you can see it here with the Tether and USDT dominance as well. Same thing's happening. There's more USDC being printed. It goes onto the blockchain and it gets bought up into assets like that. Now, BTC went and hit a new all-time high. We've slightly dipped down from that right now, but we are clearly out of the channel of Bitcoin dominance. And then this is going to make its way down to these really low levels. That's when altcoins start to outperform. And it's still trending very, very beautifully. It started to do a little bit of a fake out. And this is when people started to say, once again, no altcoin season. And then it didn't take long to break down again. Bitcoin's at around 119,000, but you can see the all-time high was just yesterday at 124,000. Now onto some Solana news. All the ETF drive that happened with Ethereum and Bitcoin before it, that is soon to come to Solana, in my not financial advice opinion. Around 1% of SOL supply is now with 8 entities. They've got a decent amount of SOL in their treasury, and more will be added, in our opinion. We also have Futu Securities International, an Asia broker. They're now offering Solana trading to 26 million users. But when it comes to the Solana ETF, we are not outperforming yet. This ETF here, SSK, this one is getting a little bit more traction, but nothing too much at present. $13 million yesterday. And then the bearish side is the SEC has delayed decisions on 4 spot Solana ETFs. Now, once these are approved, then we'll start to see this institutional demand push into these ETFs. On the validator front for Solana, ANZA has put out a new process for SIMD 321. This is Alpenglow. Basically, this is moving the block time towards 150 milliseconds. It's a great start. However, we need to go even faster than that because FOGO is going to be 40, which I'm very excited for, and a Hyperliquid is around 80 milliseconds. The lower your block time, the better. Now, some Bonk news. Safety Shot, they partnered with Bonk Inu. So, more attention for Bonk is what I'm certainly seeing. The company will receive $25 million worth of Bonk. They'll hold $15 million worth of cash, and they'll issue $35 million in convertible preferred shares. But the really good deal is now Bonk has representation with the board of directors with NOM. And NOM, as you can see, I'll be recommending aggressive accumulation of Bonk based on the success of similar vehicles. More meme coin news. Useless has been listed with Binance US, and it's now live on Kraken as well, and Coinbase as well. This is all in a very short time, which meant this is what the chart did. Over the last few days, it's gone up 93%. But even if we come from here, it is up sizably until now. But these things, they go up and down. So that's why I do encourage you to learn MetaDAO DLO mimming. I've done lots of videos on it, and use Hawkfire as well. It allows you to do compounding of gains automatically and take profit and stop loss also. Personally, with Useless, I'm not just going to diamond hand it. I would much rather limit a little bit of upside by limiting downside risk by trading and earning those fees. OKB has gone ahead and burnt most of the supply of their token. I don't really care for the token. I don't hold any, but more I just want to show a bit of a lesson. When something like this happens and the euphoria goes through the roof, it is not financial advice, generally a good time to take some sort of profits. If you have any chart that just looks like that in a 1 or 2 day time frame, normally 1 day, that has a sizable market cap and it's just pumped on fundamental news, then take some profits, in my opinion, because this is now down 30%. It's still up, but it's down 30%, and it was kind of obvious to take some profits. MetaDAO is changing the way their tokenomics are. A lot more tokens will be going out in the wild. For every 1 meta you have, you'll now have 1,000 meta. More meme coin news. Someone launched a Solana token called Mr. Beast. No direct affiliation to Mr. Beast, so that was a bit cheeky. And then Finbags, the CEO of Bags app, they were the person getting all the royalties and trading fees. And then they took that and then they donated it to Mr. Beast's $5 million clean water campaign and managed to get pulled onto the actual live stream. Now, unfortunately, this was not utilized in a way to get more attention for Bags or Solana or anything like that, but it's a step in the right direction in terms of getting more attention. So Bags may start to outperform here. Bags doesn't have all good news though. They did an OG card sale last year worth $10 million. And these are going to translate to points or something like that. The market share in the meme coin space and the launchpad space is now heavily favored to pump. Let's Bonk has reduced tremendously, unfortunately, and Bags is now growing as well. A shout out to Camino. This is a lending DeFi dApp that I personally use all the time. It's my favorite on Solana. It's my favorite in all of crypto. It's now been live on mainnet for 3 years. 0 bad debt, 0 exploits, 0 incidents. That's all for today. But a couple of actionables. Firstly, stake your Sol. Stake it with validator.com. You don't want to have Solana sitting in your wallet where you're losing out to inflation. You can stake it with Phantom, Ledger, Backpack, Solflare, etc. Stake your Sol, get your rewards. It helps me, helps the channel, and it helps you as well. Second thing is I have a Telegram channel where news is put out from myself and the team. Make sure you're subscribed and just checking those announcements. And thirdly, ensure you are subscribed to this YouTube channel. A lot more content is coming next week, and we're going to be diving into some tokens that we think will do very, very well.